The Do This podcast is part of the Win, Make, Give podcast network. Chad Hyams and Bob Stewart are joined by Ty Voyles, co-founder and CEO of Fulcrum Residential, for insights on the power of partnerships and leveraging technology in real estate. Ty shares how Fulcrum uses Brivity to streamline processes and enhance productivity. Discover the value of automation, targeted communication, and innovation in driving real estate success. We hope you enjoy this episode of the Do This podcast.
Hey, Chad, Ty. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Bob Stewart, I'm having a tough morning, so I'll get my energy up, I promise.
Okay, look, we'll let the audience join us here. I started 30 seconds early. Ty, I don't know exactly how old you are. Chad, I do know how old you are. I got this. We all kind of grew up in the same time frame. I think all of us were, what do they call us? Latchkey kids. We could run around the neighborhood. Our parents sent us out, and we came home when the streetlights turned on, right, in the 80s.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan passed away this morning. And like, as a
I feel like ripping my shirt off right now in anger.
I was texting with Ben and a group of us this morning, like, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, right? Like, Hulkamania. So, moment of silence for Hulk Hogan. Ty, were you like a wrestling kid growing up? Did
Oh yeah, when it was still the WWF. Yes, like pre-WWE. It's been a rough week. We lost the Prince of Darkness this week too.
That's right. We lost the Prince of and Theo Huxtable.
Yeah, which in a tragically,
Malcolm
you guys, he died drowned. He drowned swimming with his 8-year-old daughter, and some surfers were able to rescue his 8-year-old daughter. That one got me. That's tough, man. That's real
us
tough.
80s kids are having a rough week. Bob, I got my biceps growing, and I'm only half of what Hulk Hogan's arms were.
What did he have? The
24-inch pythons is what Hulk used to throw down.
All right, enough about that. Us 80s kids will recover. We are gritty and resilient. Speaking of gritty and resilient, Ty Voyles, welcome to Just Do This, our fun little half hour we get to spend with really smart real estate business owners, and where they share with us what you guys do, like what you're doing in your business. So Ty, welcome. Do me a favor. Can you just introduce yourself to everybody? Kind of let them know who you are, where you're from, what you do.
Yeah, sure. My name's Ty Voyles. I am co-founder, CEO of Fulcrum Residential. We're based in Washington, D.C., serve the greater DMV. It's not the Department of Motor Vehicles. It's D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. I got my license, real estate license, in 2009. So we've been doing this as a team 13 years. I've been doing this individually 15, 16 years now. And I like to say that over the last decade, we've been able to help about 2,500 people buy or sell a home, which is something that we're really proud of.
Can I ask a question? When you introduced yourself, Ty, and maybe my brain just glitched or something, did you give yourself did you say you're the TO or something like that?
Oh, co-founder and CEO.
Oh, co-founder and CEO, and it just all blended together in my head. Okay, I was going to be like, that's a new term. I want to know what a TO is. So
no, it might have blended together in my mouth.
Okay,
that's
got it.
too.
All right, Ty. So, I mean, where do we want to go first? What are you guys doing? Why do you think the business has been able to serve 2,500? Let's start there.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I think that our business has been through an arc, and our arc is a little bit different than what the majority of the real estate industry has been the last couple of years. So we built a team that was based on localized specialization around our office, around where we lived, community engagement, involvement, sphere of influence, open house business, really concentration. We did that from 2012 to say 2017, 2018. And we really leaned into expansion in 2017 and 2018. And as the team grew, myself and my partner, Tom Cavanaugh, we made it a personal mission to get out of the business, right? To get out of the day-to-day activity of selling real estate. And our business continued to grow for about a year. And then in 2019, we started to see some things shift. There were different factors that were in our market, but we lost some team dynamic, we lost some team members, we lost some transaction count, we lost market share. And it was really interesting because I feel like in 2020, the real estate market just started to go crazy. Everybody freaked out for a month, 45 days around the beginning of the pandemic. And then real estate for the next 2.5 years was just a rocket ship straight up. And our business really went backwards year over year for a couple of years in a row. And so about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, Tom and I both leaned into personal productivity again, to really getting back in the car with buyers, to getting back into appointments with listings. And it's been a game changer for our business. So I think the lesson learned there for us is that as operators of real estate teams, there are people that can step out into what we call a seventh level, right? And not be involved in the business. For us, it just didn't work. So, we had to learn who we were and what made our business run, which was being able to stay in touch with our agents and our clients on a daily basis.
I love that you said that, Ty, that you realized that didn't work, because so many people shoot for this image of what it's supposed to be. And maybe there's that solo agent that's on this call listening today that doesn't want to build a team, yet everybody's always saying, you've got to do this, right? Or you've got to get to that seventh level, as was referred to in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent that you're talking to, right? Where you're completely gone, you're out of the business. That's not for everybody. And folks, you don't have to go do something. Now, Tom, you mentioned that, or Ty, sorry, you mentioned earlier.
Tom's the better looking partner.
Right.
He is, for sure. Right. Smarter one too.
You mentioned you were solo for 2 years before you guys formed the organization. Mm-hmm. I think names matter. Where did Fulcrum come from? This is completely off where Bob probably wants us to be going, but it's a very interesting and unique choice of a name for a team. Tell me a little bit behind that.
Yeah. So originally started the company, there were three of us. So it was myself, it was Tom Cavanaugh, and Jim Lasowski. And we knew we didn't want the real estate business to be named after anyone or all three of us. So we tried to find a word that, symbolized kind of what we were doing. And the goal at that point, certainly, and it still is leverage, right? So Fulcrum is a point of leverage. There's a famous Archimedes quote that says, you give me a long enough pole and I can move the world, right? It's about having a fulcrum. It's about having a point of leverage. And we see real estate as a way for our clients to leverage their highest asset to build wealth. Real estate and this team in particular, as a way for our agents to leverage the machine that we've built inside the day-to-day operations and the backbone of the organization, to leverage that to increase their production. So really, that's where the name came from. And
Chad, that was a great segue.
I mean, I knew what the word meant. I assumed it was something that you were going to give me along that. That's what so Bob, let's take it from there, right?
Do you mind? Leverage. When I think of partnering, I think of leverage. Like, partnership to me is all about leverage. And so you, even before later, recently you partnered with Ben and Chris here at Place, but you partnered with Tom, and what did you say the other partner's name was?
Jimmy.
And Tom and Jimmy, early on, and 2 years into your real estate career, you realized, I think I could go further, faster with partners. Can you walk me through that decision? Because I believe everybody in real estate could go further, faster with partners. But can you walk me through your mindset, all those years ago when you were like, I think we can do this together?
Yeah, I think that it after a couple of reps, after a couple of months, after sitting next to both of those guys, we shared an office together anyway. We had a eat what you kill mentality, and we shared some expenses. But we realized that we enjoyed working together. We had a similar vision and outlook, but we all had different skill sets. And so if we could stay in our lanes, which is a challenge, right? Don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's difficult to stay in your lane. But if we could each do certain things that were the highest and best use of our time, we would go further together, faster, right? Yeah. So it's that exact idea. And I mean, when you sit down and you look at other businesses, you look at an architecture firm or a dentist's office or whatever it is, you don't have anybody. Real estate's maybe the only business where you walk in and somebody goes, "Oh, I do it all." I show the houses, I write the contracts, I attend the inspections, I go to the closings. I negotiate the deals. I design my own flyers. I order my own pens. I do everything. And we realized, like, what do you want to be, a jack of all trades or a master of none? Or like, do you want to get good at something?
What are you guys good at?
So the way we started out was my mind is an operations mind. Like, so I built back-end systems. I helped create structures. Jimmy's a natural salesperson. Tom is a natural people person, right? So those were the three areas that we worked on and kind of grew from there. So as we moved forward, Jimmy was in charge of recruiting to the team. I was in charge of building systems. Tom was in charge of doing a lot of sales and keeping the team happy, right? Like, we'll refer to Tom sometimes as Fun Bobby. He's just the guy that, like, everybody loves, which is odd because, we're kind of on a call with, Fun Bob, right? Like, Bob, you're the guy that everybody loves. Like, if Bob's mad at you, you're wrong. Like, it's not because he's wrong and you misread it. It's because you're wrong.
Can somebody tell my wife?
I don't believe that he was referring to you, Bob, because that's not true. When you get mad, I've had Bob mad at me many a time. Ty, Fulcrum, leverage, right? You had the rocket fuel concept right there of, you partner the right person with the right person and look out what could happen. And then the leverage of the Fulcrum concept that came into it. Then you went and you added pieces to it, right? And I always tell people, look, there's people, that's a leverage piece. There's different systems, right? And then there's the tools that you use, which can be part of that as well. What brought you to Brivity? And then, since it's a Brivity sponsored call here, what's the one thing in there that is that perfect fulcrum that allows you guys to move the world at the largest concept?
Yeah, for sure. So talking about people, we hired right early, and part of that is luck and part of that is process. But our chief operations officer has been with us for 11 years, right? She was our third hire. She's incredible.
Yeah, she's super amazing. Like, on the ball, like, really, really strong and good. Did you do, like, can we just talk about her for a second? Because I think if you're looking for leverage, like, that person that ends up kind of being that director of operations in a real estate team, to me, is the linchpin of everything that you do. And some people, like, stumble to get it right and eventually get it right. Some people never get it right. Ty, like, how did you find Liz? How would you suggest other people go find their Liz?
I didn't know it, but she was in our network. So part of it was the hiring process, right? We cast a really wide net. We were diligent about sifting through it. But her sister used to work with my wife. Like, that's how we got connected. She had relocated here from Colorado. She had a little bit of a background in real estate. Her and her husband had done some custom home building, and she had worked in hospitality. But at that point, like, we didn't need somebody to run all of our operations. We needed a transaction coordinator, and she came in and she worked that area, and she nailed it. And she would help us find discrepancies in how the system should work and how we were working it. So she earned the right to grow into the role that, she knew she could fulfill.
I would assume not only did she spot and find those things, she went and fixed them, right? Like, she would just fix them and take ownership, and you'd look back at 6 months later and be like, we don't do it that way anymore. And she's like, nope, we do it this better way.
That's right. Yep. Yeah. So that was huge. Right. And so that was a big piece for me because I was the systems person. I was the one that was documenting everything and building the systems, like you're talking about, Chad, beforehand. She was able to take that off of my plate so that I could go back and lean into sales. And then my background is this, talking about being an 80s kid. I majored in something called e-business in college, right? Which was like, this is the intersection of computer science and business. Not all business is electronic, but so I've always had a mind kind of for project management and software development and stuff like that. And we've always wanted, and we've always sought, and we've always had technology that really was a full package. Anything that we looked at starting in 2014, I guess, that was a criteria for us, was we want soup to nuts. Like, I don't want to move software when I go from lead generation to lead follow-up to transaction management to overall CRM, right? Like relationship management. And so we worked on Salesforce for a long time, or different real estate overlays for Salesforce for a long time, because that was the only thing that we could find in the tools section of real estate that was a soup to nuts solution. And we were there through 2021, and we moved to a different product. And then we were on that product for about 2 years, and we came into Brivity. So I've used my fair share of things, and I've spent time on calls with every single software platform or CRM out there. And Brivity is one of those special tools that gives us the leverage, right? It gives us the ability to see who's in our database, to see who's active on our website, to manage all of the transactions, to tag, to create, our day in the life of the Brivity database, which has been the missing piece of our business for a long time. To walk into the office and not have to say, what am I supposed to do today? Right? Like, I just go to my Brivity scorecard, or I go to my web portal that tells me every single step. I click the link, it's got the scripts. Like, I know what I'm calling about. It's really easy.
You have if I'm not mistaken,
what Bob is doing right now, audience, is he is hacking into Ty's account, because Bob has the super password. He's always watching. Be careful.
I
That's
am
what he's
in
doing
Ty's
right now.
account. You have one agent. Is there Temi? Is her name right?
Yeah.
Who is like a machine.
She's a beast.
She is just plugged in, she's doing the activity. She's skilling up. I mean, she's set 9 appointments in the last 30 days. Like, how do we model her up and like duplicate her?
Dude, I don't know. Yeah. I'm like, that makes me think about the Michael Keaton movie that was, where he copied himself.
Multiplicity.
Yeah. No, I don't want that, because I guess I would take Temi, even if she was like two copies,
crazy,
degraded across the entire team. So that again comes back to the person, right? Timmy's just a really driven, positive, engaged, energetic human. But she also helps build that culture in the team. Christina's an agent that's joined our team and has done the same thing. She leans in, she does the dials, she sets the appointments, like she attends. And a lot of that has to do with...
Do you do things like with the scoreboard? Are you putting the scoreboard up so they're seeing that? So one is challenged to chase the other? How are you encouraging, not discouraging competition without making it negative within the team?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a team Brivity scorecard, right? We've gone and reverse engineered that. So every agent on our team has their own individual Brivity scorecard, right? For their sliver of the database. We have a VA that updates that once a week on Sunday nights, so that Monday morning we have a set of standings so you can see who has the best Brivity scorecard. And then once a month, we do prizes for who has the best Brivity scorecard, who set the most appointments, who held the most appointments, who ratified the most deals, who closed the most had the most closings, and then had the most GCI for the month. So there's always internal competition that's there to really sort of keep us moving forward.
How do you get, I haven't been in your account for a little minute here. Everybody's engaged in here. Everybody's tracking their activity. Everybody's appointments are in here. Like, how do you get this group buy-in like this?
With a heavy hand. No.
Very 80s yet again.
Yeah. No, so this is I think this speaks to the beauty of Brivity, right? So with Salesforce, it was really hard. Salesforce is a top-down management software. Brivity is a user-driven, supportive environment. It's easy to use. And so there's 2 ways. One, we have people who are inclined to go use Brivity because they know the benefit that it brings if they're in there, if they're actively working on it. And 2, the other piece is Liz again has created systems where, look, if you're not good enough in Brivity and you don't want to go build the skill to go set up your own transaction, we just have a Google form that you fill out so that Liz's team can actually keep all that transaction information flowing. The engagement on the lead gen and the lead follow-up side, though, is twofold. I think part of it is just culture, right? You get a couple of culture champions. We show up every day. We sit in the office together. We sit in the bullpen together. We do the work. And the second is using the auto plans that are there so that we can have people kind of raise their hand without us having to call hundreds or thousands of people to get that hand raise. Like we took the perfect example this spring. We had an agent, she's a part-time agent. She held an open house, and we've customized the Brivity open house follow-up plan a little bit just to put it in our personal voice. So she holds this open house, she takes down the sign, closes up shop, goes away, and then she gets an email notification that she's had somebody responding to her Brivity open house auto plan, right? Because it automatically runs on every single open house. And I'm not saying don't do your follow-up. If someone comes into your open house, call them, follow up with them, but also have a safety net. These people texted back to her as if she were texting them, and she gets an alert, jumps in the conversation. They end up going out and buying a $1.2 million house and selling an $800,000 house off of an open house that she held, right? $2 million worth of real estate volume because of systems, because of auto plans that are automatically triggered.
And
crazy
folks,
to me.
I love that Ty said it, and it always sounds good when you can say, I got $2 million worth of real estate off that. Folks, I don't care if it was $300,000 worth of real estate you got off that. It was off an auto plan that she didn't do anything extra, right? She did the open house. She walked away. She might have been ready to do something extra, yet Brivity did it for her. Doesn't matter how much is being earned in there. Don't miss it. I also love, Ty, that you said that you customized, right? You don't have to do that extra work to the plans. I mean, Bob and the team have built amazing follow-up plans and other activities that are in there. Yet if you took that second, you're in the situation where you've now made it sound more local, more your Fulcrum team specific language you might use, which just gives it that extra touch. So folks, you don't have to customize them, yet it's not that hard to sit there and say, we want to change this sentence to say that, and we want to add one more step right here because that makes sense in our world. So love that you brought those points up. Thank you, Tom. Ty. Stop calling you Tom.
I know more, like I know all this data about Brivity that sometimes I'm like hesitant to share, but it also like keeps me up at night, and like sharing is cathartic. Right now, like 3 out of 4 leads that enter the ecosystem across the thousands of people that use Brivity do not have happening what Ty's team has happening, which is an automatic plan being triggered. I would encourage anybody here, go look at your last 30 days worth of leads and figure out, like, where should I have those things engaging those people that are coming into my database? Because, you know, like Ty said, that agent on his team probably would have called that person on Monday, but who knows? Like, Ty, they might have ran into another agent later that afternoon at a different open house, and that would have been the person that gets the $2 million worth of business if she didn't have that system there to go and engage that consumer right away.
Yeah, that's right. I actually think it took two text messages, and they didn't text back until Wednesday, right? Like, so that just proves to me that no one followed up with them.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they did go to 3 or 4 open houses. Nobody followed up. It's amazing.
My data would tell me that if they did go to 4 and she was the one that sent it, the other 3, like the data would say those other 3 never sent her anything.
Right. And it's as easy as just one click. It's as easy as if you're using Brivity for the open house to automatically have it set up. Folks, Bob, you tell us again and again that one of the tips you always share, I don't care who we're talking about, what topic we're on, what call we're doing, you almost always mention that there should be nobody that doesn't have a market report or, you know, property search, that everyone's got something set up. If you have an address, they should be on a market report. I believe there shouldn't be anybody in your system that's not on some sort of auto plan, right? Even if that auto plan just reminds you once a month, call them, or
totally quarterly or something
text
like
them,
that,
or some. But everybody should be on some sort of auto plan, whether it's from the open house, and when it gets to the end, it tells you put them on the next auto plan, right? Or whatever that is. Ty, Bob could probably go click, click, click and tell us what percentage, though, do you believe of people in your team's Brivity have an auto plan set up? So we just sit back and let Brivity tell us what to do, and it helps us get where we're going.
Yeah. Not enough, right? Because the number's not 100%. But like my personal scorecard right now, I have 914 total leads in my database that have an address. 913 of those are on a market report, like every single one. And there are some people that open it every single month. And I know not to call, like Eleanor Glatley, I'm not going to call her, right? She opens it every month. I met with her 3 months ago. Like, I'm going to put in notes, like just clearing, and I call it DITLOB, my day in the life of Brivity, clearing DITLOB, record the call, no answer, and move on. So she's off the list, right?
I love that.
But
you know,
fine.
but you can,
But I know
you
who she
can look
is.
at her and you know who
Yes.
she is. You know what her story is. You know that you've probably got a reminder in there to follow up with her in 3 months or 6 months or whenever. Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
You guys do a lot of, and maybe this is part of why kind of we're uncovering. You guys do a good job with your sphere of influence in your past clients, and not unlike a lot of other teams, I think, where that's kind of the bulk of your business comes from those two sources. I think in the industry it's 2/3 or something like that. Running quick math here, though. I mean, you guys have plenty of other business sources. Do you guys do anything specific with those people beyond? I'm sure you got them all on market reports, right?
Yeah.
You're probably checking in with periodically, but is there anything you guys do to like really focus on sphere and past clients?
So here's like the next thing we're doing. We do something all the time, right? But the next thing that we're doing is we're running a summer sweepstakes giveaway, right? So we've carved out $1,500. We're going to give away a $500 gift card, a couple $250 gift cards, and a couple $100 gift cards. Blast out emails. It's free to register, share on social media. It's a way to both keep current clients engaged and build the database. But everybody that registers has to give you full contact information. They're automatically on a market report or on a listing alert based on where they live and what their intent is. So there's always something like that we're doing. And that's part of, I think, getting back into this neighborhood specific, working the area around our office, right? Like trying to build community. It's part of who we are, right? Like, Place's mission is to deliver the dream of home ownership everywhere. Ours is to build and create community through real estate, right? Like, so community is a huge piece of it. We've got to find ways to bring people into that community.
Man, I'm looking at your guys' database. You guys find a lot of ways to bring people into the community. Let's call your database the community. Like, you guys have just a steady stream of new leads. We got open house leads and quickly leads and client referrals and people calling your signs. And my goodness, you got a lot of activity.
Quickly's been incredible for us this year. I've been stunned. Like, Quickly's been great. Those people, they're legit fun. I finally had somebody for the first time out of the hundreds of Quickly leads I've called. I called and they were like, no, I'm not that person. And I was like, if you say you're not, okay, whatever.
Okay, fine, but I'm
not going to argue that with you, but whatever.
I think Quickly, Ty, is one of the top underutilized tools for Brivity. Give us 2 or 3. How are you using Quickly to generate lead opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, a sign goes out in front of, like a yard sign, goes out in front of every single listing, no matter what, and it stays there. And anytime we get a text message,
whatever to that number for that property's details.
They text Fulcrum. Yeah,
okay.
They text Fulcrum to Quickly. And it's just engagement, right? Like, it's a phone call, it's a text message. It's making sure that person doesn't fall out of the rotation. Once I work through my first 3 or 4 steps of my personal Brivity scorecard, like, I'm in the pond looking at Quickly leads just because I know that those are real phone numbers. They're easy to text. They've already texted. That's their preferred method of engagement. So it's a pretty low bar, and then their phone calls.
Great point. That's a great point, Ty, that they texted in instead of picking up the phone and calling the sign that probably had the number on it, which means they've just told you. That's my preferred form of communication. I don't want to talk to you. I want to text because I want the information. How easy is it to shoot a text to those people? They've already shown they're willing to engage.
Yeah. So you can rip through that pretty quickly. And then it also gives you the ability, if you're 3 or 4 texts in, to
call and say, he said it ripped through it pretty quickly. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
To Chad. So, I've texted you 3 or 4 times in the last couple of days. I don't mean to be blowing you up. I just wanted to make sure you got the information about 123 Main Street, right? That's my phone call. Like, right. I hope these aren't going to spam. Just wanted to make sure you're getting what you need. That's it.
Angela Garcia, Bill Jacobs. Who else is here with us? Carrie, Cecilia, Dean, Jenny, listen, if you guys don't have quickly deployed right now, like get your signs out. Ty's team's picked up 30 leads in July because they put the signs out, and those are good leads. 29 of them were the real person, and one guy that forgot what he was doing, 2 days ago when he was driving around the neighborhood. But man, 30 those are free leads, essentially, right? You guys had to go do the work to get the listing, but get those signs out.
Pay $6.84 for that sign that we get to reuse over and over and over again. Yeah.
And some people don't want to call. What a great, easy way to still get their information and get them into your system.
By the way, of your 30, it's actually 20, technically it was 27 quickly leads you guys have had in July. 3 of them are already hot. Like we already got, like these people are moving, they're doing stuff, they're talking to us, they're talking to the lender. Those things, there's like an open house lead. They are down the funnel. People out driving around texting about houses, a lot of times are down that funnel.
Quickly reminds me of do you guys have seen the ads for Ally Bank, right? They've changed their slogan, but their slogan used to be like humans when you want them and machines when you don't, right? Like that's kind of what it is. It's like if you want a phone call, you're going to get a phone call. That's a sign call. People want to text, they're going to text for information. It's when you can get somebody's preferred contact information or preferred communication method, it's huge.
Hey, Bill, so a couple of you guys are like, wait, what kind of leads? What are they? It's Quickly, KWKLY. And it's our texting service. And if you're a Brivity platform customer, you have it. So Kat, just go into our support area and just, search Quickly. Bill, same for you. Ty, it's 11 o'clock. I'm going to let you go. You're crushing it, man. And here's the crazy thing. I know you need to get back to work. That's not crazy, but because you're in here. Like you and Tom drive this thing in Brivity. You guys show up every day. You make the phone calls to your 900 people. You mentioned it. Thanks a lot, man. This was awesome. Good day today.
Yeah.
Even though as 80s kids, we're struggling a little bit this week, you guys.
Thanks, Ty.
Talking about catharsis. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chad.
Thanks for my 80s
Bob.
kids. We'll talk to you boys later. Thanks, gentlemen. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next week.